We all love a good comeback story, don't we? You know, like that second chance to set things right.
Yeah, for sure.
But what about when those second chances get kind of twisted, when they involve like a darker kind of redemption?
Oh, okay, I see where you're going with this.
Yeah, so today we're diving into some seriously shadowy territory with Dexter. Season 1, Episode 3 to be exact.
Oh, Dexter. A classic.
Right, we're going to use it to explore those very questions about redemption and second chances, what they really mean.
Sounds intriguing. Let's do it.
Okay, so for anyone who needs a quick recap,
Yeah, for sure.
Dexter Morgan. He's living this crazy double life.
He really is. Talk about a double life. I mean, this guy, he spends his days analyzing blood spatter.
For the Miami PD, no less.
Exactly, for the Miami PD. But then, get this, by night, he's satisfying a much darker urge. The dude's a serial killer.
Yeah, but he's not just some, like, random killer off the streets, right?
No, not at all. And that's where things get really interesting.
This guy's got a code, like a real strict code.
He does.
He only goes after people he thinks deserve it. Criminals who, slip through the cracks of the justice system.
Exactly. They got away with it, and he sees that as his opening, I guess you could say.
Right, his own brand of justice. So that's where things get really ethically murky, don't they?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. That's the moral tightrope walk the whole show is balancing on.
Totally.
Because, I mean, come on, can you really be a moral killer?
Yeah.
Is that even possible? And the episode doesn't shy away from that question at all.
Not at all.
It throws it right in your face.
It does.
Shows Dexter rationalizing every single thing he does. Like, remember that scene with the gun store owner?
Oh, yeah.
The tension is so thick you could cut it with it. Well, you know.
With one of Dexter's knives.
Exactly. His fascination with that hunting knife, it's like palpable.
It's almost like you can see the wheels turning in his head.
Oh, yeah. You're watching him think, could this one be,
One of his victims.
Exactly. So it makes you question everything, Is this code? Is it really a moral compass? Or is it just like a convenient way to justify what he's already decided he wants to do?
Right. Like, is he just fooling himself?
Exactly. It's such a good question, and the show just keeps throwing more fuel on the fire.
It really does.
Because while we're following Dexter and his whole moral dilemma thing, we've also got this other storyline going on. Remember the ice truck killer?
Oh, how could I forget? Totally creepy.
Oh, for sure. But he's another one with this meticulous, organized approach to murder.
He is. Like Dexter, he's got his own twisted sense of, what do you call it? Justice, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. Like his own code. Only this guy, he's targeting women.
Right. Women that he views as, like, fallen or something.
Yeah. It's messed up, but you can't deny the parallels between him and Dexter. They're two sides of the same coin,
Two sides of the same, very, very dark coin.
For sure. Like seriously messed up stuff. But it's fascinating, right?
Yeah.
Because it's like the show is holding up a mirror.
Right. Making us compare and contrast.
Exactly. And then there's that scene, oh man, that scene where Dexter's analyzing the ice truck killer's handiwork.
Chilling, right.
So chilling.
Yeah.
And he calls it stunning.
Stunning. I know, right?
I mean, come on. It sends chills right down your spine because it makes you think, are we all capable of that?
Yeah.
Like, does everyone have a bit of that darkness inside of them just waiting to come out? Or is Dexter truly a unique case?
Yeah. Is it nature or nurture? What do you think?
Man, I don't know. It's a tough one.
It really is. And it's not just those two, Dexter and the ice truck killer grappling with this whole idea of second chances.
Oh, we're right.
We've got Rita, Dexter's girlfriend. Remember, she's trying to rebuild her life, piece it back together after that abusive marriage.
Oh, yeah. Rita's got her own demons for sure. She's trying to start over, trying to trust again, which is incredibly difficult after what she's been through.
Right. And then there's Jeremy, too, struggling to break free from his past, all the violence he's been involved in.
Yeah, Jeremy. He's young, though. Like, he still has a chance, right?
Right.
At least that's what we're hoping.
We're hoping, but the show does make you wonder, It's like, how much of who we are is set in stone? Can we really change our nature? Or are we always going to be, a product of where we came from?
It's that age-old question, nature versus nurture. Are we destined to become a certain way because of our past experiences, our biology, all of that? Or do we have the power to break free, to choose a different path?
Right, right. And the episode doesn't really give us any easy answers, does it?
No, not at all. It's not that kind of show. It makes you think, makes you question, but it doesn't hit you over the head with a message.
Which is what I love about it.
Me too. It's thought-provoking without being preachy.
Exactly. And one thing that really struck me was Dexter. For someone who seems so, emotionally detached, calculated.
Right, like he's got it all figured out.
Exactly. There are all these moments where he seems to crave connection, real human connection.
Oh, absolutely. Like, deep down, don't you think he just wants to be normal?
I think so, yeah.
But he can't because of who he is, because of what he does.
Right. It's like he's wired wrong or something.
Maybe. Or
Uh,
maybe it's more complicated than that. Maybe he's wired exactly the way he's supposed to be.
Right.
But it's just, a different kind of wiring.
A different operating system.
Exactly. And those glimpses of him wanting connection, wanting to be normal, they just made the whole thing even more tragic.
They do.
Because you can see that there's a part of him that wants something else. He just doesn't know how to get it.
Right.
Or maybe he doesn't believe he deserves it.
Yeah, maybe that's it. He doesn't think he's worthy of that kind of connection.
Which is sad, right? Because everyone deserves to feel loved and accepted for who they are. Even if who they are is a little bit, well,
Murdery.
exactly.
It's like he wants to be good, to have a normal life, whatever that means for him.
Right. But then he goes and does what he does.
Exactly. It's like this constant push and pull. And the flashbacks to his childhood, man, they don't make things any clearer.
No, they definitely complicate things. Seeing young Dexter, watching Harry try to deal with those dope urges,
Yeah.
it's intense.
It really is. And instead of trying to, fix him or whatever, Harry just kind of embraces it, doesn't he? Shapes it into this code.
Right, like if Dexter is going to have these urges, might as well give him some rule.
Yeah, but it's a moral framework built on a pretty terrifying foundation. Kill the guilty, but never the innocent. It makes you wonder if Harry, by trying to control the monster, actually created one.
It's the classic dilemma, isn't it? When you try to control something, contain it, sometimes you just make it stronger.
And there's that scene where Dexter's talking to that young boy about the code, like he's trying to get the kid to understand or maybe even agree with him.
Like he's looking for validation. Right?
Yeah. But the show doesn't let him off the hook that easily, and it definitely doesn't let us, the viewers, off the hook either.
Oh, no, not at all.
It constantly reminds us about how brutal his actions are, Like, these are real people, real victims. This isn't a game.
Right, and that's what makes it so effective. It doesn't shy away from the consequences. Yeah. It forces you to confront the reality of Dexter's choices.
Like that scene with the ice truck killer's latest victim. Ugh, it's tough to watch. Dexter's analyzing the scene, the body. It's horrifying, but you can't look away.
It's like you're both repulsed and weirdly drawn in at the same time. That's how good the show is.
Totally. It's like walking this tightrope between fascination and, total revulsion.
Exactly. And it raises this question. Can someone like Dexter, someone who's basically hardwired for violence, ever really change?
Right. Is redemption even possible for someone like him? Or is he forever trapped by who he is, what he's done?
And it's not just Dexter, right? It's Jeremy, too. He's just a kid, and he's trying so hard to be good, to escape the violence that seems to follow him everywhere.
But you get the sense that it's not going to be that easy for him. It's like some stains just don't wash out.
It's like the darkness is always there, lurking beneath the surface, waiting for a chance to resurface.
Man, that's heavy.
It is. But that's what makes Dexter such a great show. It doesn't shy away from the tough questions. It doesn't offer any easy answers.
Right. It makes you think, makes you uncomfortable.
Exactly. And that's what we need more of. Shows that challenge us, that force us to confront our own beliefs about good and evil, about redemption, about the possibilities and the limitations of change.
Totally agree. So we've got Dexter, who's trying to outrun his darkness, and then we've got his sister Deb. Now, she's a cop too, right?
Right, but she's coming at it from a very different angle.
She seems to have this, black and white view of the world, like good guys, bad guys, that kind of thing.
Totally. She believes in the system.
Yeah.
She believes in justice. And she wants to believe that people are inherently good.
Which makes her the perfect foil to Dexter.
100%.
Yeah.
Because he sees the world in shades of gray. He knows that everyone has the potential for darkness, no matter how good they seem on the surface.
Exactly. And you can see Deb starting to question things, too.
Oh, yeah. Those cracks are definitely starting to show.
Like, in that scene where she's interviewing one of the women who knew the ice truck killer's victims, you can see the doubt creeping in.
The realization that maybe things aren't as black and white as she thought.
Exactly. And that's what I love about this episode. It keeps you guessing. It keeps you thinking.
And just when you think you have it all figured out, it throws another curveball your way. Like when Dexter figures out that the ice truck killer is framing someone else for his crimes.
Whoa, yeah. I'd almost forgotten about that. So on the one hand, Dexter was right. The cops are totally off track.
But on the other hand, it draws him deeper into the case. deeper into the darkness.
It's like he can't help himself. He's both repulsed and strangely drawn to the ice truck killer.
It's like a game of cat and mouse, but with incredibly high stakes.
And then, just when you think the episode is going to end on this dark and twisted note, they hit us with something completely unexpected. We see Dexter with Rita's son, Harrison, and it's like this quiet, tender moment. They're just playing, like with a toy car. And for a second there, Dexter almost seems normal.
Right.
Like a regular dad. It's kind of jarring,
Totally. Because you've got this glimpse of something pure and innocent, but it's set against the backdrop of everything else we know about Dexter. All the darkness, the secrets.
Right. It makes you wonder about his motivations, Like maybe he sees Harrison as this symbol of the life he could have had, the life he never allowed himself to have.
Or maybe even the life he's trying to protect.
Yeah.
By, eliminating all the bad guys out there.
Yeah, maybe. Or could it be something else too, like a reminder of what he's lost, the innocence he can never really get back?
Oh, that's a good point.
Mm.
That's the tragedy of Dexter, right? He's so consumed by this need to control the darkness, both inside himself and out in the world, that he ends up pushing away the very things that could bring him peace.
Right, the things that make us human.
Exactly. And the episode ends, it doesn't really give us any answers. It just leaves us with this lingering question. Can a guy like Dexter, someone who's done the things he's done, can he ever really outrun his past?
Yeah, is redemption even possible at that point? I mean, how do you come back from that? It's a question that stays with you long after the credits roll,
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's the power of a show like Dexter. It's not just some mindless entertainment. It gets under your skin, makes you think about the big questions.
Totally. Like, what does it really mean to be good or bad? And is redemption something that's earned or is it given?
Right. And if someone like Dexter can find it, what does that say about the rest of us?
Exactly. Heavy stuff.
It is, but it's also what makes for such a compelling watch.
Well said. Well, there you have it. Another deep dive into the world of Dexter. We've explored the themes of morality, duality, and those second chances, or maybe the lack thereof, through the lens of this one episode. It's amazing how much this show packs into a single hour,
It really is.
Yeah.
And how it manages to be both entertaining and thought-provoking at the same time.
For sure. So, to wrap things up, we'll leave you with this. Can we ever truly escape the shadows of our past? Or do those shadows follow us, shape us, no matter how hard we try to outrun them?
Something to think about.
Definitely. Until next time, folks.